The last thing we're going to look at today is how to graph these piecewise equations. So I'm going to write one down here, and we're going to see if we can figure out how to graph it. So f of x equals, and again, those beautiful brackets that I make, 2x plus 1 when x is less than or equal to negative 1. And we're going to say, we're just going to say 5 when x is greater than negative 1. So the easiest way that I find to graph these is we know that it's two lines here. And I'm going to take a look at this top line is when x is less than or equal to negative 1. So if I take a look at that top one, if I make an xy table, that boundary point is negative 1. So if I plug in negative 1, it would be 2 times negative 1 plus 1. So we have negative 2 plus 1 is negative 1. So I know that coordinate negative 1 is on there, and that's that domain boundary. And since it's a less than or equal to, it's going to be a closed circle. So I'm going to go to that graph, negative 1, and I'm going to put another dot here. Now there's two different ways we can look at this. We know 2x plus 1 is a line, and we need 2 points for a line. So I need another point that fits in that domain. And again, our domain is x has to be less than or equal to negative 1 here. So what's a number that's less than negative 1? Negative 2. Well, if I plug that in, negative 2 times negative 2 plus 1, so negative 4 plus 1 is negative 3. So I could go negative 2 wait, I messed up here. I think. Let me double check. 2 times negative 1, negative 2 plus 1. Oh, when I graph this, that's why this, sorry guys. Negative 1 is down here. So that is this point right here. I apologize. Negative 1. And now this next point, negative 2, negative 3, is right here. Now here's our boundary point I highlighted. So if I connect those, the line would be going this way. Because again, negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4, negative 5. We only want that line when it's less than negative 1. You could also look at it if you granted that first point and you said that the slope is 2. We see that here, 1, 2 over 1. Now the bottom one, I'm going to make an xy table again, and I'm going to include that boundary point is negative 1. Well, what comes out is a 5, and I'm actually going to change that just so it fits on this graph easy. I'm going to change it to a 3. Because again, our boundary for this one is x is greater than negative 1. So I'm still going to put in that domain boundary, but since it is just a less than, I'm going to make this a open circle. So negative 1, 1, 2, 3. If I put in another one here, what's something greater than negative 1? Well, 0. If I plug in a 0, we still get a 3. 1, 2, 3. So this line, when it's 3, is used anytime it's greater than negative 1. Now, the boundaries, those open or closed circles, you only have to worry about that on a boundary point. So what we're going to do is take a look at one on Delta Math here. And see how to do this, okay? So graph the following function on the axes provided. So, I wonder if I can smooth this over a little bit. And I wish I could write on here, but it doesn't let, so I have to bring this back up. I'm going to try and make this work here. But we have two lines again, so sorry guys, can't write quite on this, so it's a little bit of a mess right now. Okay. So we have our top function and our bottom function on this one. So the top function, if I was to make an XY table, again, I'm going to look at what is our boundary for this, is X is less than -2. So I'm going to put in that boundary of -2. And if I plug that in, we'd have -2 plus 4 is 2. And what's a value that's less than -2? Well, I could do -3. And if I plug that into the equation, -3 plus 4 is 1. So I'm going to graph these 2 points. So the first one, -2, 2. So -2, 2. Click and drag to make a point. So -2, 2, I'll put that on there. And when you click down, you can see that a line appears if you drag it. So I'm going to, whoops, sorry guys. Where'd that one go? No, it just went away. Shoot. All right, we're going to try another one. Sorry about this. So let's see. The top one here. We have an X and a Y, and we know that X is less than -5. So again, I'll put in that boundary point of -5. So 3 times -5 plus 9. So -15 plus 9 is -6. And I'm going to write that that has to be an open circle. And what's something less than -5 is -6. So 3 times -6 plus 9. -18 plus 9 is -9. So I'm going to go over to that first point. -5, -6, -5, -6. I'm going to click and hold it down. And then I'm going to drag it down to -6, -9. And I feel like this is a little off. Click the line to delete it. So I'm going to delete that. So let me try again. -5, -6. Click it. And then I'll go down to -6, -9. And I still feel that that's off. Why do I keep getting this off? -5, -6. And then -6, -9. Okay. And now it says click on an endpoint of a line to change it. So I know that needs to be an open circle. And then it keeps going. So if I click on it again, it'll have that arrow. Now to graph the bottom of this, the bottom part, I'll make an XY table. Okay, so our boundary here is X is greater than -2. So when X is -2, out comes a -2, and that's an open circle. So greater than -2, maybe I put a 0, and that's still -2. So I'm going to go to -2, -2, click it, and then I'll drag over. My other one was 0, -2, but I know it has to be open, so I'll go back and click open, and then click on the other endpoint till we get an arrow. And then we can submit our answer. So again, these are a little bit trickier to get used to the clicking. But what I would do is in your notebook, as you're doing this, be making that XY table. So our top one here is X is greater than 0. So I'd put 0, out comes a 3, and that's going to be closed. And what's something, oops, sorry, I had a background. X has to be less than or equal to 0, so -1 would go with 3. So 0, 3, I'm going to click on it. And then -1, 3. It's a closed circle, but it's always less than, so I'm going to click until I get an arrow. And then we can do the bottom part. So an XY table for the bottom. Let's see, we have X is greater than 5, so I'm going to plug in a 5. So we'd have -5 plus 4 is -1, and that needs to be an open circle, and then we need a value bigger. So what if I did 6? So we'd have negative 6 plus 4 is negative 2. So 5, negative 1, click, hold down to 6, negative 2, and then the top one has to be open, so I'll click it open, and then it keeps going anytime bigger than that, so then I'll click on it so it keeps going bigger, and you can submit it.